AI can perform a lot of interesting tasks these days. It can check your email, it can draft an email response, it can do many actions. Within Power BI environment, it can help you to go and create a Power BI report entirely from prompt window without touching anything inside Power BI desktop. And this is possible these days with the help of report authoring skills, with the help of Power BI Desktop Bridge and AI tools, LLMs, AI assistants such as GitHub Copilot. My name is Reza Rad, and in this video, I'm going to show you how this is actually possible. So to get this working, you need few elements together. First of all, I think the era of us doing manual report building is pretty much getting over. It is the age of AI. You can ask AI to do the tasks for you, and one of the tasks that it is good to do is writing code. And Power BI report behind the scene is a code base. Actually, I talked about Power BI report structure, PBIR and PBIP in another video, which I recommend you to go and check it out. And that is a file structure. Within that file, you have within that folder, you have different files, different sections for Power BI visual. There is a piece of code for every visual, some configuration, and this is what AI is good to do. And there are some report authoring skills that know how to go and write it and what to use, combined with tools such as Power BI Modeling MCP Server, which also I explained that in another video. This connects to your existing Power BI semantic model, or the remote MCP Server, which is connecting to the semantic model in the service. Combined together, they can actually go and help building a Power BI report for you totally using prompt. So let me go and show you this, how this is going to work. Okay, so in this window, you see that I have Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code, if you don't have this tool, it's a tool that is free. You can download and install it. It is called VS Code in short. This is a tool that you can go and build applications using this tool. You can, of course, use other tools as well. You can use any tools of your choice. In this example, I'm doing that with the VS Code. And alongside with the VS Code, I also have this chat section beside it, which I'm going to enable my zooming tool so that I can show it to you better. So this chat window on the side, which is here where I go and ask questions from GitHub Copilot. GitHub Copilot is similar to, let's say, Cloud Code or Codex. You can use these to generate code for you. I'm using GitHub Copilot in this example, but you can do that exactly the same thing with other tools as well. Now, the other thing is, what I would need to get this setup working is you will need to have Fabric skills, and especially the skill that you would need for this is report authoring skill. So I'm going to show you how to find it. You can basically just search for Microsoft Fabric skills. You can even search for report authoring skills. Not that you necessarily need that, because Fabric skills is a whole skill set, including everything, but you can search for that as well. So this is the Learn website that explains how this works, but there is also a GitHub library for that you can go and download this. This is including everything skills in Fabric, which is like the entire skill set. I have explained in other videos that you can run this command to add it and install it, and that's about it. Once you add that and install it, you have the skills ready and you can get this working to do anything. And there are plenty of skills. There are skills to work with warehouse, to work with the lakehouse, for Fabric IQ, for data integration, data flow. There is also a set of skills for Power BI report authoring, which is what you see right now in this section. So report authoring skills are helpful to do any work on the report authoring skills, which you see there are a few actually. There is one for designing the report. There is one for planning it, for authoring the report as well. So there are quite a few skills that you see here. Each skill file, when I click on it, it has instruction for the AI tool to how to go and work with this and create a report. It has all the information needed for that. Not only that, it has also some information about like what is this visual type, what is that visual type. So you can use that to go and create the report. So far we have VS Code. We have the skills that you install it. Once it is installed, you can go and use it. The third item in this is having a Power BI Desktop Bridge started. And what that is, if you have the latest version of Power BI Desktop, and I would encourage you to download it if you don't have it, once you open Power BI Desktop, let's say I'm going to options and settings here, and under that, I'll go to options. Power BI Desktop Bridge is one of the latest editions of Power BI Desktop. It is a preview feature. The way that it works is that you go to options and settings, options preview. In the preview, in the preview features here, the section of preview features, you would be able to see that this option is available here. Enable external tool to access Power BI Desktop through secure local APIs. This means that your Cloud Code or your GitHub Copilot can use this to look into Power BI Desktop and see what report is open in Power BI Desktop and what like it can perform actions. It can reopen Power BI Desktop for you, reload the Power BI Desktop, things that are related to working with the Power BI Desktop, which is quite interesting. Now, what I'm going to do is, after having these, I'm going to just create this connection to an existing Power BI semantic model. So I'll go and say, let me just create that connection to the semantic model. I could even create that from GitHub Copilot, but I want to show you that how this connect to an existing report. So I connect to a semantic model that I already have inside Fabric workspace. Now, this could be also in a workspace that is premium per user workspace. It doesn't have to be necessarily that. So let me first sign in. Apparently my sign in has been lost in this. So that would require a little bit of process here to make sure that we are signed in. So as you can see, I have the Power BI Desktop logged in with my account. When I say get data from Power BI semantic model, it lists all the semantic models that I have access to. In this case, I connected to that existing semantic model in a Power BI workspace, which may not be even Fabric capacity workspace, because this feature doesn't have anything to do with Fabric capacity. You can use it in Power BI Pro workspace as well. And you can see that this semantic model I'm connected to has two tables: customer table, fact internet sales table. I don't build any visualization. This is a thin report, a report with live connection to that semantic model. And I'm just going to save this report. So I would say, save this report inside my folder. I'm going to create a folder called thin report 6. Let's actually create the folder first. So creating that folder, thin report 6, and inside that I'm going to call this report 6. I have created a few of these for this example. So this is going to be saved like that, but this being saved as PBIX doesn't help, right? Because you see the format is PBIX. So make sure that when you are saving it, save it as PBIP. And that is exactly like that process, but this time you choose PBIP as the type, because PBIP, Power BI project file, also save this as a PBIR format behind the scene. So I've saved this, and once it is saved, you see that now this is a PBIP project, Power BI project. It has a report section, and it has some other sections as well. Now I'm going to do the rest using the GitHub Copilot. So I come back to my Visual Studio Code. Here I want to use my Fabric skills. One of the things you can see is that if I go to the extension section here, after installing Fabric skills, you should be able to see your Fabric skills installed. So here you can see that I see that installation. Like I can disable it. If I disable it, it is not going to do those actions that I want. And report authoring is also one of those skills. You can disable it or enable it. It is by default enabled after you install it. So I'm going to use that to perform this action. Now I have some of these prompts that I have saved before. I'm going to just copy and paste it here, and I'll explain what the prompt is about. So I'm saying that I want to create a new report layout, report 6, which is already open in Power BI Desktop. And this part is the part that we'll be using that desktop bridge, Power BI desktop bridge. I want it professional looking. I want using the same data set, sales analysis by customer, demographic, and also by the order date. So once I pass this, this is going to first scan and see what skills it has available, what MCP server it has available, because one of the things would be required here is an MCP server to connect to an existing Power BI semantic model. So as you can see, it first look at Power BI authoring skills to go and build that. Not only that, it also would require that connection to the semantic model and analyze the semantic model, which all of these are done by that, by the MCP server. So I'm going to now say hello all commands in this session. This is of course my test workspace, my test folder. Whenever you are doing this, giving this authority to AI to go and do things, make sure that you are in your test environment with AI tools. It is important that you have a really good version control scenario, because all of a sudden it might wipe out some of the work that you have taken hours or even days to build. So it is important that you have good folder structure, good software development lifecycle, good version controlling to make sure that you get to that structure. So here in the explanation here, you can see that this is already analyzing my report. It found that the report is already a blank canvas right now. So it is trying to find now what are good candidate for building the report, and that would be based on analyzing the current semantic model. So I'll let it go for a little while to go and build this. So as you can see, this already worked on this. It created the report. It automatically switched to Power BI Desktop, which is also a great thing as well. I didn't say to it to go to Power BI Desktop and show it to me. It automatically switched to Power BI Desktop and showed me the report, reloaded the report, which is one of the functions of this Power BI Desktop bridge, which is amazing. And here you can see the report. So it has few slicers for gender, marital status. It has sales by customer demographic and the order date. As I mentioned, format of some of these dollar values are not great, and that is because in semantic model I did not have the right formatting for the currency value. If I had that, it would have followed along over here as well. So all of that created by just that single prompt that I sent to you, sent over here, and it has been creating it really nice and really good. It is still continuing. As you can see, this is still working behind the scene to enhance some of the functions, but this ability to work with the Power BI Desktop alongside with it without me even touching it, this is fantastic. This is combined effort of the Power BI Desktop bridge and report authoring skill. It created this report. It automatically opened it. There was a small error in it, which automatically fixed it. I didn't even say anything to this to go and fix the report, and it created this report. Now you see that a few of the visuals in this report has that shadow in it. I may want to add this for other visuals as well, which I'm going to actually ask this to go and do that. But as you can see, this is still continuing to building this. Now, a few points that you can enhance this experience is that if you have a layout of what visual should look like you might create like a, you might even draw something on a paper and take a photo of that this is my report, how it would look like. On the top, I would have few card visuals, then I would have like a column chart here, then I would have this, I would have that, and then pass this also to the alongside with your AI prompt. If you have any business requirement gathered with this, you can also pass that. Like, for example, some information about what are the fields, what are the requirement of the report from your customer, from your end user. You can pass that as well. The more information you provide, the better outcome you would have. At the moment, I just provided a simple prompt, and this is just giving me the result of that, which can be definitely enhanced. So this created that. Now I'm going to say something like this. So I would say, that's great, thanks. I would like to have shadow applied on all visuals, and I would like one of the visuals to be a donut chart, for example. Not that I would recommend using donut chart in a visualization, but I'm just explaining to you that how AI can incorporate all of those and build these for me. So in this case, I didn't really say which visual I wanted to be donut chart, or I just passed that information, and we'll see what this would generate for us. Okay, now we are looking at the new design of this. So here you can see that it's put that shadow in all of the visuals with just me saying that. It also changed the layout a little bit, which is okay. But if I wanted the layout to stay the same, I would have had the option to change it. It also created one of these as a donut chart. So it is familiar with what Power BI visuals are looking like, and all of that with basically just 2 prompts. So it is quite important that you understand how all of these work together. We had the VS Code Development Studio, let's say. We had GitHub Copilot, our AI assistant. We had the Power BI Desktop Bridge, the connection to Power BI Desktop, so that I don't really need to apply changes, reorder thing. And also we had the Fabric skills, especially the report authoring skills, combined with MCP servers that connect to the Power BI semantic model and analyze that, so that you can use that report authoring skills to go and build it. So all of these together help you to just do prompt Power BI front end. So instead of going and even dragging and dropping Power BI to create Power BI reports, you can just send prompts and it creates all of that for you. This is, of course, at the moment preview at the time of creating this video. You can enhance this experience by providing screenshots of the reports that you might have, which are professional looking, and you can say, I want all of them to look like this. You can even draw that yourself, saying that this is my report page, these are the sections that I have, and pass that. You can pass any business requirements that you have, so that it has the familiarity of what your user is looking for. So combine all of these, give all of that. If you have any documentation, give all of that to the AI, and you would have much better, stunning results. So the future of Power BI reporting, I would say that there would be much less people manually creating Power BI reports. It would be mainly building it using the prompt. So maybe prompt first reporting would be a term to go through. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, go ahead and subscribe into our YouTube channel. We have weekly videos about Power BI, about Microsoft Fabric, about how AI can enhance the experience with these. My name is Reza Rad from Radacad, and until the next video, bye.